Hey everybody, so what you're looking at right here, it's not just an SUV. It is in fact a large, old school middle finger to the new world of fuel-sipping hybrids and electric vehicles. Yes, this is the 2019 Dodge Durango SRT, and it has to be the most badass American SUV that you can buy today, and I'm here to tell you why. So in this video, we're gonna hear the sweet, sweet sounds of that 6.4 liter Hemi. We're gonna go through the Performance Pages app and find out all the features that you can use on a track day with this Durango, and then of course we're gonna launch it, so make sure you stay tuned. Behind all of that bite is a pretty good bark. This engine sounds incredible, and the fact that it's naturally aspirated means no supercharger whine, no turbocharger, nothing like that, just pure V8 goodness. Listen up. Too bad that when you rev it like that, it's actually limited at 4,000 RPM, but we're also gonna go for a drive so you can hear what this thing sounds like when it's shifting at full tilt. Technology makes this Durango absolutely badass as well, and all of that comes from the SRT Mode and the Performance Pages app. So first, you click on the SRT Mode button, and I'm using my GoPro here to give you guys a close-up. So you click right there on SRT Mode, and that brings up this screen right here, which allows you to customize how this Durango is going to handle. So if you actually go through the modes on the top, you have towing mode, snow mode, custom. If you hit custom, you can go in there. Oh, launch control is activated. Let's take that off. So if you hit custom, you can actually go into custom, go to setup, and then set it up exactly how you want it. So you can change the transmission, the paddle shifters, the stability control, the all-wheel drive, the suspension, and the steering, and all of them can be adjusted individually, so you set this thing up exactly how you like it. Then of course there are the presets, so you go to sport and it'll turn everything to sport, and then you have track and it will all go to track, and you have a bunch of different setup, and then you have race options, which is interesting. So you can activate launch control using this button, and then you can also get to your shift light. So you can get a shift light here on the Durango, and you can set the RPM, so for all the different gears too. So for first gear, you maybe go a bit lower. Red line in this thing, you can see it there, is at 6,000 RPM. So, you know, you probably want to go a little less than red line for first, maybe closer, and then the rest can be right at red line. Now let's check out the Performance Pages. So you hit the Performance Pages button and the app will load. Now in the Performance Pages, there are a bunch of different screens, which are actually much cooler when you're on the move. So I actually recorded them while I was driving. So let's actually start with the home screen. Now the home screen is cool because you have 4 different gauges and they can be customized, they can be changed. So you can have things like the steering angle, your G-forces, the horsepower that the engine is making, transmission temperature, a number of different things that you can set up, different gauges and timers, which it's always nice to be able to customize things. Now moving down, you have the timers page, and as it sounds like, it's a bunch of timers. You can actually get this thing to time you 0 to 100, 0 to 160, 60 to 0. You can do stopping tests, so you can test your reaction time as well. It will count you down and then test your reaction time. Now it actually has its own little drag race Christmas tree. You'll see it here. Okay, my light's about to go green, so all you do is stop, you hit OK. Here comes the tree, pre-stage, stage, and green, green, green. Ooh, 0.43, not a bad reaction time. But you guys know I want to try again, so let's just zoom out the camera a little bit for you so you can see what I'm doing a bit. And I'm on a nice empty road, so I'm going to come to a stop one more time. Let's see if I can beat a 0.43. And green! Oh, 0.49, a little bit slower that time. This is really a cool mode that you can use on this SRT, and like I said, for all you drag race aficionados, it lets you test your reaction time anytime you want to. Now let's go ahead and pop the hood and see the power plant that makes this Durango fly. And there she is, the heart of this beast. That is a naturally aspirated 6.4 liter Hemi V8. Power for this engine checks in at 475 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. And really, the only SUV that outguns it is its stablemate, the Grand Cherokee, which of course gets the Hellcat. Now here is a live demonstration of performance pages, and specifically the G-Force page. So I'm going through a little twisty section of road here that I really like, and I've got 3 cameras rolling, one on the performance pages, the GoPro on the outside, this one on me. So I'll run them all here at the same time so you can watch exactly what the G-Force meter does as I go through these corners. And I can't go crazy fast, but fast enough that we should register some okay G's. It is amazing how flat this Durango stays in the corners. A vehicle that's this heavy, once again, has no business being such a good handling vehicle. It's absolutely insane. And I am in sport mode right now, and this thing does have Bilstein adaptive dampers, so it stiffens right up. The steering gets heavy. Man, when you're really digging in those corners, it really doesn't feel like it's pushing that much. Sure, you can feel the weight, you know, but it's controlled exceptionally well by the suspension. Of course, the very first thing that makes the Durango just so badass is the way it looks. Go ahead, name a better looking American SUV. I'm waiting. Oh, what, did you come up with the Chevy Tahoe RST? Nah, it does not look nearly as aggressive as this Durango does. Maybe the Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT or even the Trackhawk. Sure, they look pretty good, but there's just something about the Grand Cherokee that has a little bit more of a taller proportion to it. This Durango has this beautiful swept back look, which just adds to all of the sporty SRT features. You throw that hood on there, you get the lower front fascia and the rocker guards all around, and then of course, the most important thing here is the black and those blue racing stripes. Now, you can get different combos for your Durango SRT, but this right here absolutely sells me. The blue racing stripes just stand out, and they're proper. They run the length of this vehicle all the way from the front hood, right over the roof, right down the back. Now, here's a little bit of functional design. Those Brembo brake calipers, and when you get these beautiful black wheels and then the red calipers, they really stand out. Now, these brakes are absolutely massive. Over 15 inches of rotor in the front and just over 13 inches of rotor in the rear. Now, there is one great little design feature on these lights. Check that out right there. They actually frost dodge right into the light. A neat little feature when you get up close and start really examining this Durango. Now, as we get older, our priorities change. So another reason why this Durango is so badass, and I wouldn't have thought this just a couple years ago, well, because it's so practical and so comfortable. This thing definitely would make you the coolest dad on your block. So first we start with these seats. These are some absolutely excellent seats. Nice and thickly bolstered and really nicely cushioned. You get this sort of Alcantara on the inside and then leather on the outside. They're absolutely beautiful seats for both front passengers. Now let's move back and we can talk more about practicality. Boom, right there is my convertible child seat, and you can see it fits quite nicely in this Durango, and that's because the second row here offers just over 38 inches of leg room. Very respectable for a second row of an SUV. And then of course you can access the third row, so you flip the seat down using that handle, and then I absolutely love that these little straps are red, race red. You pull that, flip it up, and you can climb into the third row. And it's not massive back there, but it's also not a penalty box, coming in with 33.5 inches of third row legroom. So yes, it's no two-door coupe sports car, but this Durango is just badass because it goes so fast, looks so good, and you can haul your family while doing it. Well, for such a badass SUV, well, you would expect a pretty big price tag, and that's exactly what this Durango comes with. So the SRT in Canada starts at $73,895. And there's all the standard features. It is quite well equipped right from the factory. Now our model's got a couple options, $275 for the black paint job, $960 for a couple driver aids. The SRT interior appearance group, that's all the carbon fiber and the leather wrapped instrument panel inside, that's $3,200. I like that carbon fiber, it's beautiful, but I'm not sure it's $3,200 beautiful. High performance brakes, yes please. The dual stripe, I'd pay for those all day long. And then this thing also has the 19 speaker Harman Kardon, bringing our total up to $87,295. And here's what the price would be if we were in America. There's another feature up here I want to show you, and this one has been helping me, making sure I don't get any speeding tickets. Yes, it is a speed alarm. So here you can go in and set the speed alarm at whatever you want, and then it will let you know when you hit it, so that when you are speeding, you know it. So the technology here in the dash is really impressive in the Durango, but what's more impressive is the technology that runs the launch control system. So let's get out there, find an empty road, and go for a launch. Okay everybody, time has come for a launch. So you hit the launch button, it tells you apply brake pressure, launch enabled. I'm holding the brake down, full throttle, release. Oh my goodness, that was insane. This thing just flies when you launch it. Okay guys, let me stop just long enough to tell you this. This Durango SRT is defined by excess. It weighs too much, it drinks too much fuel, and it is more fun than any 5,000 pound SUV has a right to be. And for those reasons and a bunch more, this has to be the most badass American SUV on the market today. So that's it for this review guys. Make sure you go below, leave a comment, hit like, hit subscribe, and then come right back here to the channel for the latest news, views, and real world reviews. Now if you'll excuse me, launching this thing is just so addictive and I gotta go. So giddy up!